Mahleng, you are disrupting the meeting, Mahleng. You are disrupting the meeting. Yes. Disrupt the meeting, Mahleng. Comrades. President and the SG are disrupting the meeting. Molo President. Kunjani? Mamelani. First of all, let's apologize for the late start. We thought it appropriate to wait for the President. We thought it appropriate to wait for the President. I'm sure he says he has been here for some time, but all of you have seen him entering. So there's a difference between facts and the narrative, you know. It's not the same. So we're going to start now. Thank you very much for your patience. What we are going to do for a start, we'll allow the President to give us the opening remarks and allow the media to leave. Then we proceed with the meeting normally as the agenda stands. Every other formality we'll do after that. President, please. You may be wanting to give us an opening remarks.
National Chairperson, national officials and members of the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress. We agreed that we would have this meeting to discuss local government. So therefore, we welcome you all to this special meeting of the NEC, because we are here today to deepen our resolve and to streamline our strategies and strengthen our programs to address the deep-seated challenges across the local government sphere. It is important for us, as we discuss the challenges of local government, to remember what the drafters of our Constitution, who through the broad and rigorous consultation process that was embarked upon, envisaged what the role of local government should be in the state architecture we constructed. Our Constitution established local government as a distinct sphere of government alongside national and provincial government, with the responsibility to promote democratic governance by bringing government closer to the people and give communities a say in decisions that affect their lives. The objects of local government in terms of include providing democratic and accountable governance, ensuring sustainable service delivery to the people of South Africa where they live, promoting development in the areas where they live, promoting a safe and healthy environment, and encouraging community involvement, particularly in the decisions that are taken that affect their lives. Local government is effectively the front line of service delivery. It is responsible for and meant to deliver our key objective of a better life for our people by ensuring that they have the basic necessities that can improve their lives through the provision of water, sanitation, electricity distribution, waste management, roads, housing approvals, and construction, and community facilities. Municipalities are also meant to play a central role in infrastructure development, such as roads, street lighting, and public transport systems. The citizens of our country expect quality service delivery that should have an impact on their daily lives. It is this that determines our people's trust in government at local, provincial, and national level. One of the key functions of our municipalities is to promote economic growth by creating conducive environments for investment and business development. Investments and businesses, as I often say, do not take place at the union buildings or at Steenhuis. They happen at local government level. Through local economic development initiatives, local government is meant to focus on supporting job creation, especially in our cities, in our towns, in our townships, and in our rural areas. The dictum of the people, for the people, and by the people is best expressed at local government level, as that structure is the closest level of government to the citizens of our country, ensuring direct participation in government. Political tools such as the Integrated Development Plans, IDPs, including the development of budgets, require community consultation, ensuring that people's needs do shape municipal priorities. Ward committees and public meetings strengthen participatory democracy. In reality, municipalities need to act as developmental agents, addressing our challenges of poverty, inequality, and unemployment. They implement social protection programs for indigent households, a process which we should address as one of the key priorities of reducing the cost of living that our people are suffering under. Provision of housing support and community upliftment initiatives are the terrain and the responsibility of local government. Local government should be the rock bed of ensuring accountability through elected councillors who represent communities working together with a professional and capable civil service cohort. Municipal oversight structures should vigilantly monitor budgets and how money at local government is spent. They should monitor service delivery and should also ensure that corruption does not take place. Transparency in local decision-making should strengthen trust in government. It should also strengthen trust in political parties that contest for the support of the people. It should also strengthen trust in elected leaders and also the democracy project and reduce the alienation of our citizens. Municipalities are central in responding to emergencies and disasters such as floods, fires, which we have experienced in many parts of our country, especially in KZN, the Eastern Cape, and parts of the Western Cape, as well as Northwest. Municipalities should have effective disaster management plans, capabilities, and they should defend and support communities against climate change, vagaries, and environmental challenges. Local government plays an important role in nation building by engendering a sense of belonging and shared identity among citizens through the provision of inclusive living, entertainment, cultural expressions, as well as establishing places of sports. Local government should play a role in social cohesion, reducing any form of tensions in communities by addressing inequalities and providing platforms for dialogue at grassroots level through the consultation processes that our Constitution calls for. The Auditor General of South Africa, in characterizing the role of local government, has said the South African Constitution envisaged that citizens will live in cities, towns, and settlements where they have access to clean water, sanitation, electricity, refuse services, and good roads and infrastructure. She continues by saying that they will live in a country where their elected representatives in councils will ensure that the rates and taxes that they pay and the funds provided by national government for basic services and infrastructure development are accounted for and used for their intended purpose. The role of local government is set out in our constitutional architecture and correctly described by the Auditor General, therefore paints a blueprint of what type of local government the people of South Africa expect. And this is what we need to discuss here and truly ask ourselves whether in what is happening throughout the country in our local government structures, we are living up to what is set out in our Constitution and also living up to the expectations of our people. Local government is often where citizens first and foremost frequently interact with government. It is the sphere of government which has the most direct impact on people's lives by delivering quality basic services and safe, affordable public or social infrastructure. The ANC has, over the last 30 years, largely succeeded in widening access to basic services, whether people like it or not. It has also improved lives of millions of people across the country by implementing policies that were directly directed at improving the lives of our people. Racially based access to services such as water, sanitation, houses, transport, health services, and others have been removed from the statute books. Despite this real progress, certain apartheid economic and spatial legacies still influence how people experience and interact with government. An examination of the current state of local government in our country paints a truly concerning picture. Successive studies, both internal and external, place the blame for dysfunctional and ineffective local government largely on the shoulders of political parties, be it parties that have outright majority to run councils or be they in coalition governance arrangements. Too many of our municipalities fail to deliver even the most basic services, either due to incapacity or mismanagement. This failure can be so severe in some places that we find that water and sewage runs through the streets of our townships and towns and into our people's homes, causing and placing our people at risk of diseases. Compounding these failures are the frequent delays in repairing municipal infrastructure and various complications with providing emergency measures during such breakdowns. It is quite clear that, given the state of our municipalities, our immediate task must be to focus our attention on stabilizing municipalities and ensuring that there is rapid delivery of services to our people. This is what this National Executive Committee has been called to deliberate on. We need to be forthright in dealing with this challenge. We also need to move beyond diagnosis and come up with radical solutions that will address the challenges of local government. Various reports by the Auditor General, COCTA at a national level, and the ANC internal research and ordinary South Africans highlight the issues of political divisions and instability, as well as governance and administrative failures, as being amongst the main drivers of our local government challenges. Officials who are meant to assist citizens are often not capable of addressing people's concerns or at times work against the people. Sometimes even elected representatives get involved in acts of malfeasance or corruption, and at times in criminal activities working against the people. There are instances of a number of people in our local government structures who are involved in acts of criminality or stealing the resources of our people. And this, in many ways, is betraying the sacred duty that is entrusted to all of us. One of the key problems identified as debilitating the functioning of our municipalities is the continued practice of unauthorized, irregular, and wasteful expenditure, as well as corruption. The lack of accountability and consequence management structures and processes is widespread. This problem is exacerbated by the lack of institutional capability for credible performance. This is borne out by the Auditor General, who cautions that municipal finances are severely troubled, and even though funds are constrained, mayors, councils, and municipalities are displaying, she says, little fiscal discipline. Money paid by residents and funded from the national purse is often wasted through poor financial and procurement decisions and project failures. Creditors are not paid within legalized timelines, and the debt owed to entities such as ESCOM and water boards remains high and continues to increase. If these debts are not paid, communities are left without access to basic services such as electricity and water. This also makes it difficult for businesses to operate optimally, further adding to the struggling economy of our country. The Auditor General says that One root cause of project failures and financial loss is poor management of our finances and a reluctance to hold suppliers accountable for late and poor quality delivery. And she then goes on to identify or delineate the number of municipalities and says 87% had findings of non-compliance with procurement and contract management legislation in 2023-2024. Services, she continues, and infrastructure in basic areas of water, sanitation, waste management, electricity, housing, and roads are not consistently and sustainably delivered and maintained despite the budgeted funds being spent. And the worst part is that quite often we find that funds are returned to the national fiscus without being spent. And I've often said that this is a treason against our people because they expect that when Parliament budgets or adopts a budget and the money is transferred, they expect that the money will be spent. The deteriorating living conditions, she continues, and harm caused by polluted water resources and landfill sites are widespread. The other overriding concern is that municipalities struggle to improve their revenue collection levels despite implementing financial recovery plans and turnaround strategies. Infrastructure delivery and maintenance are also still not receiving enough attention. The lack of accountability at most metros as well is clear from the slow response to that they observed. It is rare for metro leadership, she says, to account to provincial legislatures and parliament. Now, a culture of performance accountability and transparency and institutional integrity is not ingrained in many of our local government entities. Fully functional and high-performing local government entities will have a significant impact on the lives of most South Africans, as well as businesses that operate in the local spaces. Now, these are the challenges that the Auditor General has identified, which need to be addressed. We have often glossed over the reports that are issued and not paid close attention. This National Executive Committee is now called upon to look at all these challenges and find solutions. Now, some of the challenges, or many of them, are often caused by poor or inadequately skilled personnel who lack the required skills to address our people's concerns. Most concerning, a lack of requisite financial skills is often highlighted all too often. If one goes through the Auditor General's report, you'll find that many of our municipalities simply do not even have the skills to do management accounts, not even audited financials, just monthly management accounts. And what they often do is to outsource that whole function. And even if it is outsourced, it is found that the results of the outsourcing come out flawed, leading to the Auditor General issuing disclaimers and a whole number of other reports. It is therefore imperative that this NEC must come up with solutions on what should be done with immediate effect to stabilize local government and address the challenges of our municipalities. For starters, one of the frequently asked or stated complaints is that ANC councillors do not hold public meetings, they do not engage communities, and do not give feedback to give credence to the consultative nature of what a local government structure should be like. I should immediately add that in the end, it is not only the ANC. We're finding that in many parts of the country, we do not see public meetings that are held to inform our people about the activities of local government. Holding regular public meetings, engaging the people and giving feedback is an important element of holding public representatives accountable. We must immediately and without fail strengthen consistent engagement with our communities and report backs to communities and ensure that we rebuild trust between the ANC public representatives and the people that they serve. It's been found that even where local government faces serious challenges of not having the financial resources, when a local government does consult the people and explain in detail and transparently what the challenges are, the people of our country do understand. Now, quite often, many of the protests that take place is because the people are not informed of the challenges or the problems that our local government representatives and officials are facing. Now, this is going to require collaboration to solve problems such as those between communities, civil society, government, organized labor, and business in every locality. The district development model needs to be implemented vigorously to rebuild local government. And we have seen how effective the district development model, when it is properly implemented, can yield. We've seen how it has turned around eThekwini local government. Durban was just going on a down sort of trajectory and had lost its luster of being the tourism mecca of our country. And it was when the district development model was implemented, when we established the presidential working group, which brought together national government, provincial government, and local government, business, labor, and community-based organizations, that we were able to turn Durban or eThekwini around. That is precisely what we saw happening. And it is a solution that we need to apply in many other places. We've set up a presidential working group for Johannesburg, and we are now being requested to set a same type of solution to many other metros particularly. All too regularly, corruption, mismanagement, and an outrageous lack of consequent management and accountability allow dysfunctionality to continue with impunity, thus prolonging the suffering of our people living in affected communities. Now, this must end, and this NEC must take bold decisions on how we are going to address this. This failure at local government level feeds into a narrative about a failing and declining ANC, and thus provides further ammunition for our detractors. The ANC, therefore, needs to be bold in taking action to resolve the dysfunctionality at local government level by dealing with this elephant of corruption and malfeasance. the following steps should be embarked upon to address some of the key challenges we face in local government. The ANC must ensure that our candidate selection methods for the forthcoming local government elections produce capable, qualified candidates of impeccable and moral standing. Much as we are standing here and talking as the ANC, we even say, and I said it yesterday as president, that I'm calling upon all political parties when they deploy candidates for local government, even as we will compete with them vigorously and win, they must deploy people who are capable, people who are well-skilled and knowledgeable about local government and particularly about the challenges that our people are facing. Our movement must also insulate our candidate selection process against interference and malfeasance ourselves. Membership of the ANC comes with rights and duties. Part of those duties is to protect the stature and image of the ANC, but more importantly, to protect the interests of our people. But what is more important is that if the conduct and behavior of anyone deployed acts against the interests of our people through abusing or stealing the resources of the people and harms the standing of the ANC must take steps without delay to take action. We often delay for too long, and this harms the standing of the ANC. Much of the instability at local government is attributed to volatile coalitions. The finalization of the coalitions bill, that is the Municipal Systems Amendment Bill, will aid in bringing stability to this area. ANC legislators and structures must continue to take the lead in ensuring that changes in coalition partners or municipal leadership do not destabilize service delivery that should be delivered to our people. Our movement must continue to strengthen oversight and accountability, most notably the work being done to hold ANC public representatives accountable against clearly set out objectives. As part of the efforts to strengthen local government, the ANC has developed a draft action plan which must be discussed and adopted by this NEC. This local government service delivery and infrastructure action plan will consolidate existing strategies, ensuring decisive progress in implementing our commitments in ANC-led municipalities, in provinces and portfolios. The action plan will set out specific roles for ANC councillors, mayoral committees and caucuses, as well as necessary interventions and monthly reporting requirements. Once adopted, the action plan will be shared, obviously, with our deployees, setting out clear and measurable tasks, both in government and in the ANC itself. Municipal infrastructure in our country is showing significant decay and collapse in critical areas such as in roads, water, and electricity. This is across rural and urban areas. Part of the action plan must prioritize the delivery and maintenance of social and public infrastructure to our communities. Our interventions must be more bolder and they must be more targeted to ensure more economically and spatially equitable access to quality basic services to our people. The people must be able to access government services easily, and when they do have to travel, the transport infrastructure, they must do so on an accessible basis, safe and affordable manner. An important task for ANC structures is to familiarize themselves with and ensure effective oversight and influence over ward delimitation and oversight processes. It is clear that many citizens are not familiar with the impact these processes have on issues such as equitable resource allocation, distribution, and representation. The ANC will measure the success of the action plan by the clear and visible improvements shown in every municipality and in whether we succeed in regaining people's trust. This is going to be a true litmus test for us as the African National Congress, particularly in the forthcoming local government elections. Drawing on lessons learned, and we are learning from interactions with the people of our country and from formal processes such as the submissions received through the white paper on local government review process, we must focus on stabilizing municipalities and delivering quality services by coming up with innovative ideas of how we can reform local government so that it can function to advance the interests of our people. This means that we must come up with innovative and, if you like, modern ideas of the processes that can improve local government, including how we fund major projects at local government level. Key to the success of any local government reform program will be, as I said, the full implementation of the district development model and all of government and all of society operating together. The DDM is meant to bring all three spheres of government and other stakeholders together with a view to integrate planning, budgeting, and to drive development and service delivery. It will be important for members of the executive and other public representatives who have been appointed as DDM champions to play their roles fully and drive cooperation and collaboration across the three spheres of government. And I must say that the deployment of ANC, NEC deployees, as well as the champions even at government level, where comrades and deployees are living up to their deployment, tends to pay a lot of dividends. And I'd like to thank those who are diligently and faithfully executing the tasks that they have been given, both at ANC level and government level. One of the other discussions that we must have is to discuss the funding of municipalities. There are many municipalities that are struggling as a result of a lack of a meaningful tax base. We cannot postpone this matter any longer. The debt burdens that many of our municipalities have should also be addressed. Many owe billions of rands to ESCOM and water boards. But at the same time, government entities also owe municipalities billions of rands. Effective solutions must be developed to deal with this problem. The ANC must be bold in dealing with the challenges that our municipalities are facing. And this NEC must be decisive to rebuild our local government. Local government, in the end, is the heartbeat of our country's democracy. It shapes daily life, it drives local economies, and ensures that governance is responsive to our people's needs. Strengthening municipalities or local government is central to achieving both the NDP, the Agenda 2063, and the Global Sustainable Development Goals. We must therefore be firm in holding our local government deployees and officials to a much higher standard of performance and accountability, and must strictly hold the 4,853 of our ward and PR councillors to their legal duties and requirements set out in the action plan. In the end, we should be clear and firm on saying that if people who are deployed do not execute the tasks that they are deployed for, they must be removed without any fail. If people who are deployed get involved in acts of malfeasance and stealing money from the public purse, they must also be removed without failure. And this is the real heart of accountability and consequence management. We all need to now know that if we do not act in accordance with what we are expected, and if we do not give high performance for the tasks that we are meant to execute, all of us, all and sundry, be it elected officials or representatives rather, or appointed officials, we should now know that the concept of consequence management and accountability is now going to have big legs, and people will be held accountable. And the evaluation processes of what we do will also get into top gear to ensure that we do, in the end, do what our people expect. Failure to perform will have dire consequences for our people. The ANC must lead from the front to address this challenge. We have addressed many difficult challenges in the past, difficult challenges that many people thought would collapse the ANC, and those challenges did not, as we addressed them. I do believe that we can do this, and in the end, we must do this. We must act not only in the interests of the ANC, but in the interests of our people. The ANC is a servant of the people, and that servanthood is fully exemplified at local government level. So this NEC, therefore, as it meets this weekend, must focus on this issue of local government. I thank you.
Okay. Masanza Ngolshob, may we request members of the media to leave? Masego, Amban Bano Pumla. Masego, Bano Pumul. Can you Pumula Masego, please? Ambani. Thank you very much for your presence. We are not expelled, guys. We are released. Guys, get moving. Siyanithanda, siyanibulela, kodwa phumani. Maseko. Unithanda kwethu akuzusinceda, phumani.